Hello, welcome to Paleo Greenbird. I'm Greenbird, and today's video is going to be about friction fire. So, my favorite form of friction fire is the hand drill. There's also the bow drill, fire plow, several other methods of producing a coal. My favorite, for whatever reason, happens to be the hand drill. So there's two major components of the hand drill. You have your hearth board, which is important, and you have your spindle. When considering what types of woods to use, typically I'm in the New England area, northern New England, so for me mullein seems to be the most abundant, suitable resource for me. Also Jerusalem artichoke, although I've yet to find that growing wild. But if you can get your hands on some Jerusalem artichoke, it works very, very well. It's super straight, just absolutely wonderful. This right here is a kit that comes out of my geographic location. This is the hearth board is yucca or yucca, however you prefer to pronounce it, and also so is the spindle. So when selecting a spindle, what you want to keep in mind is you want something that is going to be soft enough to dig into your wood, but hard enough to be able to grind and produce dust. I guess it'll make more sense later. So for whatever reason, the trees and the plants that have a pithy inner core and a more fibrous outer core, things like cattails. As I mentioned, this is yucca, which is desert material. And as far as your hearth board is concerned, the good way to test it is if you can push your fingernail into it and it leaves a little indent. I don't know, you probably can't really see that, but that's probably going to be a good material. In the beginning, I would say stick with what you know is going to work, tried and true, and then as you start to get more advanced and experienced with it, you can experiment with different types of material, and really most anything will work. I mean, I've seen people, or talked to people rather, who have used cedar shoots, box elder shoots, young shoots like that. So the first thing you want to do is, once you have your kit, is you want to produce what's called a burn-in, and that basically just produces a place for your spindle to set in for the rest of the process. So what I've done is I've carved just a little bit of a divot. I think you can see it there. Nothing big, just big enough to give yourself a little bit of an area to lock into. It doesn't need to be too big. I'm just going to push the camera back a little bit here. Need some space. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my burn-in. There's several ways to work the spindle. There's a lot of good videos out there on YouTube. Some people will do what's called floating. I like floating. There are several different opinions out there. Some people feel that it's unnecessary. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I like it because it gives me sort of something to focus on. Not always a good practice and good hand conditioning, but it also can become sort of zen-like, I guess, while you're working the spindle. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just working my way down. Nothing crazy. You hear that noise? That's more of a sliding noise. During your burn-in, you don't want that. That sliding noise means that it's glazing over and it's spinning instead of digging into the wood and producing dust. So you'll hear probably when that starts to change as I do this. Okay. So right now, that noise is changing. It actually sounds more like sandpaper. You can hear that? That's a good noise. Okay, so I've got my burn-in pretty much done, so I'm going to go over a few techniques, a few things I probably should have gone over before I even started. Want nice long strokes. As you work your way down the spindle, I can actually start to smell a little smoke. If you're going to practice floating, there are lots of good videos out there, but basically, the best way that I think to think of it is you're pushing your hands up to the sky. So you're up to the sky. Whoops, let's try that again. Up to the sky. Now your other hand up to the sky. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to not have your hands move down as you're working the spindle. And I guess this is a good time to point out that was sort of bad form there. You want to keep your hands straight as possible. It's a natural reaction to kind of want to flare them out, and you'll see people do it. It will increase your chances of getting blisters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away real quick. You can see my burn in. The next step is to put a notch into your hearth board, because what you want to do ultimately is you're creating dust that's going to collect onto your whatever you're using. This is just tin foil just because I'm inside, but you can use birch bark, use whatever you want to use. So when you cut that notch in there, it's a good idea to flare it on the bottom, so you create a pocket where that dust can collect. It'll increase your chances of producing a larger coal. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to... Okay, so I've put my notch into my hearth board. I'm just going to go ahead and show it to you, what it looks like there from the top. From the side, you can kind of see that flared V-like. And then on the bottom, I scooped it out a little bit as well, just sort of carved it out, so give it a little bit of space to collect some dust. So now, with any luck, we're going to create a coal. So I'm going to put the spindle back into the burn-in hole. I know the camera's a little bit far away, so hopefully at some point I can do another video that will zoom in a little bit better. So now just nice and easy, just work your spindle. This is the part where it's real easy to get real excited and use a lot of energy. Don't need to do that. Just heat up the hearth board. Look, try and listen for that noise. When you get to the bottom, stop, walk up. Make sure your spindle doesn't come out of the burn-in. You'll lose your heat, all of your friction. You can float if you want. I generally don't right here. Get a nice smell. That's a good sign. Speed up a little bit. And I actually see smoke. That's nothing to get excited about. I see a lot of smoke. Once you start to see that smoke, pick up the speed a little bit. But again, nothing to get super excited about. I don't know if you can see that. So now there's a lot more smoke. This is where it's very tempting to stop and check your coal. Keep going. You want to see lots of smoke coming out of there before you stop. Nice billows. But I'm not going to stop. Oop, I think I have it. If you stop and you can see the smoke still going, you've got your coal. Now this is really interesting because I got the coal, but it wasn't underneath the V that I'd carved out. I don't know if you can see that or not. No, you really can't. But another important thing here is once you get your coal, it's really tempting to be in a hurry to get it into your tinder bundle. It's not going anywhere. In fact, if you push that dust around, you let that coal build, see it's getting bigger. Bigger the coal, the bigger your chances are of your tinder bundle working. And I'll do a video on tinder bundles too. And when it warms up, I'll do a video, combining the two, blowing it into a flame. But I think you get the idea. The one thing I want to stress is that don't be intimidated by this. This is not hard, but there's, you talk to people or you read these things on the internet and it makes it seem like black magic. It's very easy to do. You just need a little bit of practice. It took me, I don't know, it took me a month or two before I really got my first coal, but keep practicing and you'll get it. So thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, learned something. If there's any comments, questions, please feel free to post and ask your questions. Thank you for watching Paleo Greenbeard. This is Greenbeard, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care.